I made 18 grandmothers cry before lunch on a Tuesday. By Friday, I had taken $47,000 from a man old enough to be my grandfather. Here is how it actually works. You think you would hang up in 5 seconds. You wouldn't. We trained for months to sound like your bank, the IRS, your son's lawyer. By the end, you would beg us to take your savings. I am not telling you my real name.
I worked the night shift in a Kolkata tech park for 2 long years.
I am telling you everything because someone finally has to. The job ad said customer support, $22 an hour, US clients, paid weekly in cash. In a city where most college graduates earn $300 a month, I drove an hour to that interview. Glass tower, security badges, a receptionist who handed me coffee. Nothing about the lobby said scam. That was the first trick. They fool you long before they ever fool the grandmas. The manager wore a tailored shirt and good cologne. He asked me one real question. Can you stay calm when a stranger is screaming at you for an hour? I said yes. Hired on the spot. He opened a soundproof door, and the noise hit me like a wave. 200 headsets, 200 voices, every single one pretending to be someone they weren't, in perfect American accents. On the back wall hung a giant scoreboard. Names down one side, numbers down the other.
The top number that month was $91,000.
The bottom name got fired by Friday. We worked 9 at night to 6 in the morning, American daytime hours. By the time the sun rose over the city, I had already convinced 3 retirees in Ohio that the FBI was coming. My trainer was a woman named Priya. She had taken over $4 million off Americans in 3 years. She wore designer sneakers and never raised her voice, not even at me. She handed me 14 scripts: IRS, Social Security, Microsoft Tech Support, Amazon Refund, Bank Security. Each one tailored to one specific fear an old American carries around in their chest every single day. The whole game, she told me, is loneliness plus authority. Find someone who hasn't heard a real human voice in days. Become the most important voice they will hear all year long. We had software that made any number show up on their phone. The real IRS line, their actual Wells Fargo number, even their own local sheriff. When they checked, it matched perfectly. Every shift we got fresh lead lists, names, addresses, ages, estimated home equity, even widowhood status. Someone in another country had already done the homework. We were just the closers. My very first call I lost in 8 seconds flat. A man in Tampa laughed and told me to learn English. The whole row heard it. My face burned and my future shrank. Priya pulled me aside the next morning. She said the only difference between her and me was that she had stopped seeing them as people. She said, say it out loud. So I did. I sat in a bathroom stall for an hour, practicing the flat, slow Midwestern accent. I told the mirror that I was Officer Daniel Reynolds, badge number 47129, Federal Investigations. Step 1 of every script was never the threat, it was warmth. We asked about their grandkids, their tomato garden, their late husband. We earned trust before we ever spent $1 of it. 3 nights later, I dialed a 68-year-old widow in Indiana. Her husband had died in October. She told me, voice shaking, that she had not spoken to a real human in 9 days. I spent 12 minutes being her friend. Then I told her there had been suspicious activity on her Social Security number. A federal warrant was being prepared. She started to cry into the phone. I told her I could help. We just needed to move her savings into a temporary federal protection account while we caught the criminal. She thanked me. She actually thanked me 3 full times. $11,400, wired in 26 minutes. Priya walked across the floor and slapped my back. The whole row clapped. I have never forgotten the sound of that applause. That night I rode my motorbike home at sunrise and bought a new helmet and a phone. I did not think about her once. That is what I need you to understand about this job. Every morning a number appeared next to your name. $4,000 by sunrise, or you lost the air-conditioned desk. Most of the city outside those walls did not have air conditioning. Top closers got chicken biryani delivered hot to their desk.
Bottom closers got the night manager screaming into their ear in front of everyone. You learned very fast which side you wanted to be on.
We added new scripts every month. Amazon Prime overcharge, Norton antivirus renewal, Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Each new script was just a slightly different fishing rod for a slightly different kind of fish. We loved gift cards, iTunes, Google Play, Target. Once the card number was read out loud over the phone, the money was gone forever. No bank on earth could ever pull it back. Bigger fish got steered to wire transfers. We walked them through the bank visit, coached the exact lie to tell the teller, kept them on the line so nobody could talk them out of it. By year 2, we were running Bitcoin kiosks. We sent the victim to a gas station, watched them feed in cash, and our wallet pinged before they had walked back to their car. 3 guys on our floor pulled over $1 million each every year. They drove imported cars. They had fiancés with American visas. Every single new recruit secretly wanted to be them. Our highest hit rate script was always the IRS. We told them a federal warrant was being signed at that very moment. Officers were 30 minutes from their door. Total, immediate panic mode. The bank security script was softer. We were calling because suspicious withdrawals had hit their checking. We were the good guys. Their actual bank, allegedly, was just being too slow to react in time. Sometimes we hit the same person twice. A week later, a different agent would call posing as the FBI, offering to recover the money they had lost, of course for a small processing fee. When a victim cried hard, we hit mute, laughed with the row, then unmuted and finished closing. I am telling you that part because pretending it never happened would be its own kind of lie. Some weeks I took home $4,000 in cash. I bought my mother a refrigerator and a washing machine and a small gold chain. She kissed my forehead and asked 0 questions. Around month 9, I started waking up at 3 in the afternoon shaking. I could never remember the dreams. I just knew the voices in them were old and they were begging me to stop. Then in February, I dialed a number in Phoenix. A woman answered, soft and slow, named Margaret. She was 81 years old. Her husband Frank had died exactly 11 days earlier that month. She talked for 40 whole minutes before I even ran the script. About Frank. About their only daughter who lived in Seattle and never visited. About the dog that wouldn't eat anymore since the funeral. I should have hung up. Instead, I told her I was Officer Reynolds. Frank's death had triggered a federal estate review. There were criminals trying to drain his accounts that very night. She didn't argue. She didn't even ask a single question. She said, please, tell me what to do. Frank always handled the money. I don't know how to lose this house. I walked her step by step to her local bank.
I stayed on the line in her purse. She withdrew $31,000 in cash, every dollar Frank had saved for the last decade.
She drove to a Bitcoin kiosk in a strip mall. I told her exactly which buttons to press. When the wallet pinged on my screen, she whispered, "Did I do good, Officer Reynolds?" I said, "Yes, Margaret, you did real good." Then I muted. The row was laughing. I was not. I sat with a headset in my hand, and I could not put it back on. I tried to quit the next week. Priya laughed and slid my passport across the desk. She had been keeping it in a drawer since the day I signed the contract. I had never noticed it was gone. The contract had clauses I had never bothered to read. Training repayment, equipment fees, 6 full figures in dollars I supposedly owed the company. They owned me until I worked it off, call by call. I kept dialing, I kept closing, but I started leaving little tells inside the calls, long pauses, strange word choices, hoping that someone, somewhere, would catch one of them and start recording. Then in September, a man in Texas picked up. He said his name was Jim Browning. He had been waiting for my call for weeks. He had been recording every single one of them. He played the perfect victim. He gave me bank details that were completely fake. He led me to believe he was sending $200,000 over. I bragged to the whole row about it. What I did not know was, on his other monitor, he had quietly broken into our office security cameras. He was watching us. He was watching me. He was screen recording our internal dashboards. He sent everything to the FBI, to Indian cybercrime, to a YouTube channel with 3 million subscribers. Names, faces, bank accounts, voices matched to real victims. A complete map of our entire floor. I remember the last shift normal, pizza on the floor, Priya buying everyone Red Bull because Friday had hit 800 grand. I went home and slept the deepest sleep of that whole year. At 4 in the morning, the front doors came down. Not knocked, came down. 20 officers in tactical vests, then men in suits behind them, then cameras. Then it was very, very quiet. I sat at my desk with my hands flat on the keyboard. An officer asked me to say my name. I gave him the fake one out of habit. He smiled and read my real one off a list. They walked us out in a single line, 400 of us, blinking into the morning sun, news cameras, phones everywhere, a neighbor from my mother's street, filming. My mother saw the clip before noon. When investigators added everything up, our single floor had stolen over $41 million from Americans in just under 3 years, 16,000 victims. The average age was 73 years old. One of the agents asked me if I remembered a woman named Margaret from Phoenix. I said yes. He told me she had died 6 weeks after our call. Cause of death was listed as a stroke. I took the deal. Names, floors, foreign managers, bank accounts in Dubai, the men above Priya. I gave them everything I had. The sentence still came back at 4 years and a number I cannot earn back in a lifetime. Prison was easier than I deserved. Indian inmates, 3 meals, a small library. But every single night, at 3 in the afternoon Phoenix time, I sat up in my bunk and apologized into the dark. Priya was never caught. The men above her were never named. The call center reopened under a new company name in a different tech park within 90 days. The whiteboard went back up that next week. There are hundreds of floors exactly like ours, from Kolkata to Manila to Lagos. New ones open every single month. They are not slowing down at all. They are just getting better, smarter, and more polite. So here is what I owe you. Rule 1. No real government agency will ever call you and demand payment in gift cards, crypto, or wire transfers. The second they do, hang up. Rule 2. If anyone says do not hang up and do not tell your family, that is the entire scam right there. Real cops do not need you isolated. They need you with people who can think. Rule 3. Call your parents and your grandparents tonight. Tell them this whole story. Tell them about Margaret. The single best protection any of them has is one phone call from somebody who loves them. I told you at the start I had made 18 grandmothers cry before lunch. The reason I am telling you now is not for forgiveness. It is so the next time the phone rings in their kitchen, you will have already answered it for them. I will spend the rest of my life paying back restitution I cannot pay. I will never get to find Margaret's daughter to tell her I am sorry. I do not get to be the hero of this story, but you can be. If this saved one person you love, do the easy part. Subscribe so the next true story like this one finds you first. Send this to the one person whose phone rings most often. Do it tonight.